All right, guys, let's do this. Okay, so this is on two-step equations, equations with variables on both sides, and the last one is going to be on absolute value equations. So for this is a two-step equation, all right? There's two things happening to the x. It's being added by 3 and it's being multiplied by 7. So you have to figure out which one of these two, if you were using x, would affect x last. Now in this one, it would be the plus 3. That's going to affect the x last. Because if I put a real number in here, you would have multiplied by 7, and then you would have added 3. So added 3 is the last thing. So you got to get rid of that first. So you're going to subtract 3, which is the opposite of plus 3, and that cancels this out. And then whatever you do one side, you have to do the other. So you're going to subtract 3 here. 7x equals 21. Divide by 7 on both sides, because that's the opposite of multiplying. These two are multiplying, so the opposite of that is divide by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 1x is written like this. 21 divided by 7 is 3. So the answer is 3. You can check your work by putting the number in. If I put this number in, 3 times 7 is 21, plus 3, 24. Yep. This one here. Which one of these two numbers is affecting the x last? In this equation, it would be the 2. Okay, so the 2 we got to get rid of. So minus 2, let me write in red here for the second step. Minus 2, then minus 2. Now we're left with a new equation, which is x over 3, because it's the only thing left. It's the only thing left. And then equals 9 minus 2 is 7. What's the opposite of dividing by 3? Multiply by 3. Multiply by 3. X equals 21. Okay? So here we go. I'm going to follow my rule now and try to do every step in a different color. Second step will be in red. So here, the last thing to affect the x is going to be the 3. So we're going to get rid of the 3. What's the opposite of multiplying by 3? Divide by 3. So divide by 3, gone. Divide by 3. I'm left with this formula. X over 2 equals 4, because 12 divided by 3 is 4. Then the next step, I'm going to do in blue. What's the opposite of dividing by 2? Multiply by 2, gone. Multiply by 2. X equals 8. Okay. I'm going to pause. Okay, let's keep going. Phone ring. Sorry about that. Don't even, there it is. Okay, so this one here. Okay. Let's deal with this one. You have to consolidate here. So here, can you put these together? You can. This ends up to be 8x. Okay, this adds together. You're allowed to add them together because they both have x's. Now, our next step, done in blue, is I can't do anything else inside the parentheses? No. Is there anything affecting the parentheses? Yes, the 2. 2 times 18, that's going to give us the 16x minus 7 equals 73. Now this looks like a two-step equation. Now we can start getting rid of these. Okay, so now we're going to add the 7 to both sides because the 7 is going to be the last thing to affect this. We're going to be left with 16x equals 80. Then the 16 is multiplying with the x, so we're going to get rid of it by dividing by 16. Divide by 16, x equals 5. Okay? So there is the work for red, the result of it, the work for B, and the result of it, the work for green, the result, the work for purple, and the result. Perfect. Okay, here is an equation with variables on both sides. Now your first step is going to be to get rid of the x's that have the lowest amount, So 3x is what I'm going to get rid of. So minus 3x. Mr. Caceres, why aren't you dividing by 3? Aren't those numbers multiplying? Yes, they are multiplying, but I'm not just getting rid of 3. I'm getting rid of the 3 and the x. The whole term I'm trying to get rid of. So 3x minus 3x, that makes this 0. There's no more x's on this side. But again, whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. So I have to take away 3 x's from this side, which would be from the 6. So then I'm left with 3x plus 7 equals 28. Okay? Then go to blue for our next step. Now it looks like a two-step equation. Minus 7 on both sides. I'm left with 3x equals 21. Divide by 3, x equals 7. See, after you do this first movement, it automatically turns into a two-step equation, and the work seems to be the same. Here is another problem. So it's like the end of this row. All right, so here we go. First, we have to consolidate this side. This side's already been consolidated, so we're good. Here, we're going to add negative 5x minus 2 plus 8. That's going to give us, we're going to put these two together, and it's going to make 3x plus 5 equals 5x plus 6. Okay? We're going to subtract 5x from both sides. We're going to be left with negative 2x. I think I wrote this problem wrong. I think there should be an x here. There it is. Okay, so 3x plus 5, and now I have 5x minus 2x plus 8. That's going to give us 3x plus 5 equals, there it is, 3x plus 8. I needed an example like this. Now, there's still x's on both sides, so we're going to fix that by taking away 3 x's here. Uh-oh. I'm also taking 3 x's from here. I'm left with no more x's, which means I'm left with 5 equals 8. Does 5 equal 8? No. So does this have a solution? No. No solution. Okay? Next one is this one here. Let's see if I can get to it. Come on board. Be friendly. Okay, there we go. So this one is another scenario. So here, this side is already consolidated. Now I'm going to consolidate this side. So we're going to distribute, and we're left with 8x plus 16 equals 8x plus 16. If this side is ever equal to this side, like exactly the same thing, plus, 8, x, 16, 16, everything is exactly the same, then the solution is infinite. There are an infinite amount of solutions. Anything you put in for x for this side is going to equal the same thing on this side because both sides are exactly the same thing. Okay, so there isn't one solution. There isn't no solution. There's infinite amount of solutions. So the answer for this one is all possible solutions for the letter x, or for me, you can just write infinity. Okay, so what about absolute value? What does absolute value even mean? Absolute value means that before you remove the absolute value signs, the result of the inside has to end up to be positive. Okay, so we're going to put negative 8 in here so you can see what it looks like. Negative 8 plus 6 minus 14. Now, the thing is, everybody says, oh, everything in there is positive in the absolute value. That's not correct, okay? Because the negative 8 is not going to become positive right now, okay? The result of whatever's inside of the parentheses, sometimes it's one number, and yeah, you turn it into positive. But when there's multiple things happening, like there's an actual addition sign going on inside, then you have to look at the result. So you can't do anything with the absolute value until you have the result of what's going on inside. So negative 8 plus 6, that makes negative 2. Okay? Negative 2, if I want to remove the absolute value, I have to turn the result into positive. So negative 2 will turn into 2 minus 14, and the result for this will be negative 12. Okay? If I would have immediately turned this into positive, I would have gotten 14. And then I would have gotten 14 minus 14, which is 0. So that would have been wrong. So make sure that you understand that the absolute value sign means the result is going to be, the end result is going to be positive. Okay? Absolute value, okay? Why is it always positive? Because it's asking how far is this number from 0? And because they're talking about distance is always positive. Okay? You can't have a negative distance. Okay? If I travel a mile that way and travel a mile here, you're not going to tell me I traveled 0. I'm like, I traveled 2 miles. What are you talking about? You're crazy, man. Okay, so distance there's no such thing as negative distance. All right, then here, we go. That one's done. Let's go to the next one. Whoa, went too far. Okay, so here. So for this one, all right. A little alarm going on. Okay. All right, so for this one, all right, you have to solve for all possible solutions that will give you 17. Okay? So the thing is, this is going to have two solutions. Why two solutions? Because if what's inside of there equals 17, the answer is going to be 17. But also, if the result that's in there equals negative 17, your answer is also going to end up to be 17. So you have two possible solutions. This in there, f plus 5, can equal 17 and give you the answer. But here, f plus 5 can also equal negative 17 and still give you the correct solution. So it has two solutions. So here's the first one, minus 5, f equals 12. Here, minus 5, f equals negative 22. Okay? All right. So those are the two solutions for this. If I put this number in there, it's going to equal negative 17, and then I'm going to absolute value it, and it's still going to equal positive 17. If I put 17 in here, if I put 12 in here, I'm going to equal 17. Absolute value of 17 is 17 as well. So we're good. All right. So here is another. You're going to add these up. That's going to equal 2. Divide by 2. That equals 1. Right? 1 is going to go in here, and the sign is going to be the opposite of what your solution is. So it's going to be minus 1. Okay? Then the distance between these two is going to end up to be the positive. Okay, so how far is 5 from 1? That's 4. That number goes in the result. Okay, there we go. Wow, that was rough. Okay.